So let's talk about Cam and black men having to capitulate and bitch out to cave the public pressures, and let's talk about how white women are using gender and race as a shield to protect them from their anti-blackness. Let's talk about how black men constantly lose wealth and resources over things they say when other folks, they don't lose dimes. We just us. We're back at it again. Situations like these are difficult. They're kind of pointless because we already know he's going to apologize. He did apologize. Uh, I'm looking at the situation from all angles. I know a lot of black folks don't even want to defend him at all because when it comes to issue of race, he's tried to be gray, nuanced, not pick a side. In 2017, people don't think you should be able to have the ability to do that. They want you to pick a side. I'm watching how some black women agree with what the outrage and stuff, but they understand and they see the racial things that the chick tweeted about years ago, and they know that if it was them talking, the backlash, the boycotts, the losing money, they would have never got that type of attention. So they're just not interjecting. A lot of women in my space in the conversations I had, they thought it was stupid and silly, and they understood what he was saying. Um, they feel like it's fake outrage again, or watching the same thing to me that happened with Kristen Leahy and LeVar Ball. Some of these Beckys who are hiding their anti-black maleness behind feminism and their womanhood. But it's pointless, right? There's nothing really you can do. You already apologized. This is standard. I've already said before a million times that this is why I don't get behind boycotts and stuff like that, because when we get boycotted, we take L's. Other people don't. I did the video about McEnroe, which I agree with him. He was not wrong about what he said about Serena, but he didn't. They didn't come for his pockets, right? Cam says one thing, they come for his pockets. You got a lot of intellectual dishonesty and cognitive dissonance from people who support Trump, but they're offended about this. You got a lot of people who didn't like when Cam Newton and the Panthers destroyed the Patriots and he took the little black power fist. They didn't like that, so they're hopping on this bandwagon too. They didn't like that, so they're kind of getting in this too. All right, so he's getting it from all angles. Obviously, he's going to apologize. He's going to end up getting donkey today from bitch ass Charlemagne. This is where we live at, though. This is the standard. As long as we're economically dependent upon other people for our survival, these things are going to continue to occur. Women account for 85% of consumer spending. It is profitable to pander to women. I was listening to a podcast the other day. My man said that Derek Jackson is the Hillary Clinton is or Derek Jackson is the black male Hillary Clinton because it pays to pander. And this is a situation that there's no way you could win, no matter how much logical reason, how many women come out and say that they don't have a problem with it. He's not going to win that argument. They've already set in stone. This is the issue, right? All their other grievances from white men not paying them the same amount of money to them is going to be flushed down the Cam. Again, we're going to be the face of something, whether it be sexism, misogyny, rape and pillage. Despite what other groups of men do, we end up always being the face of that or being the token spokesperson for that. That's just what it is. But clearly Cam is not media trained. I obviously don't think he had any malintent or he wasn't trying to demean her or anything like that. Again, I can't tell people how they're offended, but clearly that was not his intentions. He clearly seemed like he was geeked and surprised and shocked. And the funny thing about that is like you're telling men that they can't naturally just respond how they really feel about situations. They have to worry about the feelings of a reporter. That shit is crazy. And the funny thing is like if men can't feel comfortable speaking around you, that doesn't help your argument. That doesn't help you get the respect you claim you want to get and deserve. All that does is make men just not want to be around you. But this is where we at again, like black men being the face of everything negative in this country. other black men going in on him too. Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, um, Chris Carter. I'm sure Hot 97 gonna go in on him too. I'm sure Charlamagne gonna go in on him too. It's like, hey, you can't. This is not a battle you're gonna win. And I see people out there trying to boycott, black people trying to boycott the yogurt place that dropped him, and I'm like, that's pointless. Right? We overestimate our power in some of these protests and boycotts and whatnot. Just like that's why the NFL boycott is pointless. 90% of the people in the stands are white. 70% of the people on the field are black. 70% of the people in the stand who watch on television are white. Only 15% are black. 8% Hispanic. We really don't have an impact on that. The power of their boycotts will always be stronger and bigger. So us saying we won't eat that yogurt no more is ineffective. Personally, it may do something for you, but it's not effective. But I just like, this is what it is. You really have to walk on eggshells and can't speak how you want. You would think the folks who supported Trump would be like, nah, this is cool and it's not an issue, but you got a lot of them sneaking out there having fake outrage moments about this. And again, you have people who don't like the little black fire fist he threw up. So they're taking out that frustration in this situation. It's interesting. What bothers me more is that a lot of these white women are being disingenuous, conflating their problem in the workplace with white men, and they're trying to correlate that to this situation. Again, black men don't deny you anything. Him making those comments don't stop you from being a reporter. And we're making it to be bigger than it really is. But what's funny about it is whenever anybody, either gender, invades or occupies the opposite gender space that's dominantly theirs, you get situations like this all the time. If you're the only male teacher around a bunch of female teachers, you deal with that type of situation. If you're the only male nurse on a floor full of nurses, same thing. If you're the stay-at-home dad and you try to go to a park full of moms having play dates, you're going to get looked at sideways. Like, it's not that deep. It's not that, far-fetched for a person to look at you sideways or be confused that you're knowledgeable in a situation that they don't typically see you in that situation. People want to add race and all sorts of situations. It's like, that's not the same thing. Right? Why is Cam getting more backlash for what he's saying than Bill Clinton saying that Barack Obama would have been carrying his bag a few years ago? Or Harry Reid saying, oh, he's articulate and well-spoken. Right? Hillary Clinton said that women only voted for Trump because their husbands told them so. That didn't get a lot of backlash or outrage. Michelle Obama came back and said women who voted for Trump don't like their own voice. Right? I didn't see a lot of these same women who have a knee-jerk reaction coming back as those women because they agree with that. That type of sexism is okay. That's just my thoughts.
Extremely degrading and disrespectful to women. And to be honest, that was not my intentions. And if you are a person who took offense to what I said, I sincerely apologize to you. I'm a man who tries to be a positive role model in my community and tries to use my platform to inspire others. And I take ownership to everything that comes with that.
I expect more from him. I've spoken to Cam on several occasions in the past. Interviewed him once or twice. I find him to be far more intelligent than he came across in this particular instance. I find him to be far more thoughtful than he came across in this instance. And I think that that's where the disappointment.
I'm disappointed. It feeds into a old, outdated stereotype that women shouldn't be in a male-dominated field like reporter. And how is she qualified to ask a football question to a professional athlete? For me, Skip, having played in the NFL for 14 years, I didn't know a whole lot of female beat reporters, but Lynn DeBruin did work the beat at the Broncos. Rest her soul, she passed a couple of years ago. I paid her the same respect that I gave Adam Schefter, who came in with me in 1990.
Yep.
Woody Page, Mark Kisler. I gave them the same respect. She asked him a football question. I would assume that if she's in a NFL locker room, the 5th week of the season, there's a pretty good chance she's a reporter, and she had to go through probably a more strenuous interview than a male for the simple fact she is a female. And her editor, Skip.
Maybe.
No, ain't no maybe, Skip. For the sake of because we still have this situation. We shouldn't even be discussing this. This should be a non-issue in 2017. And people think, and I get that, a lot of, well, you never played. Okay, just because I never played, does that mean that I can't watch and see and understand what's going on? Skip, she did not ask him, hey, Cam, when Funches run that skinny post, is it inside leg up in 7 steps or outside leg up in 7 steps? She didn't ask him that. She didn't ask him when Funches ran the out route, is he 10 rolling to 12 or is he 12 rolling to 14? That's not what she asked. She asked him a football-related question. Says, seems like Devin Funches is embracing the physicality of his routes.
Now, to me, that's a pretty deep football question.
Hey.
I liked it.
So did I.
It didn't qualify as a dumb question.
No.
And I hear a lot of dumb ones.
Yes. You get a lot more dumb questions, Skip. You know, you get to the Super Bowl, you get a lot of people that's really not reporters. They ask you, what's your favorite color? Will you marry me? And all kind of foolishness. But I would think during the regular season, Skip, it's more, these are people that cover the sport. This young lady and the gentleman that are beat writers, they cover on a day-to-day basis. So, and Cam should be familiar because if I'm not mistaken, she mentioned that she introduced herself to him last year when she started. And Cam still didn't know her name. But that's neither here nor there. You don't have to know everybody's name. But I think there's a certain level of respect that you should give.
So I get that Cam got a good laugh at the Charlotte Observer's Jordan Rodriguez for asking a perfectly legitimate question about routes. What struck me most was not his demeaning response, because I'm well aware that many still believe women shouldn't be let out of the kitchen. Full disclosure, I cook, I clean, and I cash a paycheck for talking about sports. How about that? But seriously, it's less shocking to me that a man in a position of leadership doesn't respect women. It's more shocking that the same man who was berated for his Super Bowl 50 press conference, who clearly plans every outfit before he steps in front of a microphone, was so unaware that he fixed his mouth to tell a woman in 2017 that it's funny to hear her talk about football. Really? The same Cam who's so brand conscious, he was scared to speak up on behalf of Colin Kaepernick until the president started name-calling the players. As for men like Roddy White, who don't get it, tweeting, why is people making a fuss about Cam and the woman reporter? He laughed, then answered her question, but it was funny for the first time for me, too. Roddy, let me ask you this. As an African-American male in this country, how do you feel when constant stereotypes are perpetuated against you? Stinks, right? I know. Defenders of Cam's comments were quick to invoke the president, saying you can't vote for Donald Trump, then be outraged by what Cam said. Just to be clear, I'm not split on this subject. I come from a family of Muslim immigrants, so I was just as outraged by comments he made toward my community as my gender. But this isn't about politics. It's about right and wrong, and I refuse to waste my energy defending women in sports. Let's be honest, women in all industries have stories of dealing with sexism. I just want to remind Cam that most of those men in the press conference also didn't play pro or college football. So why isn't it funny when a male asks you a question regarding routes? Cam's comments were very revealing as to his ignorance and dated ideals. And I hope this...
After Rodriguez tweeted, I don't think it's funny to be a female and talk about routes. I think it's my job. In a statement, the NFL calls the comments just plain wrong and disrespectful. Rodriguez says that she approached Newton after the press conference to talk about the belittling comments, but as of now, he has not apologized for what he said. Now, I've got a few things to say to Cam Newton and guys out there like him, so listen up. It's 2017, you club-carrying caveman. I'm not sure how Cam managed to go 28 years without seeing a woman covering sports professionally, but he should know they let us do all kinds of things these days. We can be doctors, lawyers, even cops. Also, this is a little thing, but calling us female is both grammatically incorrect and rude. Female is not a noun, it's an adjective used to describe the gender of an animal. So unless it precedes the word human, don't use it. We don't call you males. The word you're looking for is women. We're women. Finally, a science lesson. Microphones